Hello and welcome. It is the end of day number 36. Now, things are ever so slightly different, you will notice. I decided I would try something a little bit different. I've got some footage playing somewhere around here of me and the boy on a walk all up the main road past the Berlin Wall and into the East Side Gallery. Of course, I thought it would be interesting. If you can hear the cat, he's kind of in the corridor losing his mind. He's currently been attacking my legs and feet for the last 20 minutes because I hit a fly for him and he then couldn't find it, even though I was pointing it out and had him sat 6 inches away from it. So yeah, that's been interesting, and now he's just running around like a lunatic because, hey, he hunted something and I stole his kill, apparently, even though it was moving. Anyway, so what else is going on? There's a bit of a low background hum. I've got the oven on. I'm going to make myself some toast with some peanut butter in a minute. Some of the PB2 stuff. I might put some crushed up pistachios in. I'm not entirely sure. Right, so what have we done today? Well, lunch was a fairly basic affair, actually. I'm quite surprised. So I took out two portions, if you want to call them that, of brown rice and the tofu thing that I made the other week. Now, it's probably right at the end of when it should be eaten, but there's not anything in there that's inherently bad, like it's not like meat that can go off or anything like that. It's just a load of vegetables and some rice, and I heated up for a little bit longer than I normally would have done and then let it cool a little bit. And yeah, me and Rowan had that. He had just like rice and some of the vegetables, and I gave myself the rest of it, which was the tofu and the vegetables and everything. And then I splashed on a little bit of my reduced sodium soy sauce. And while it still wasn't the greatest tasting meal I've ever had, it certainly tasted a lot better. So yeah, I think my strict, almost militant adherence to no salt, no, do not add it. I think that was mildly misguided. So a little bit every now and again, it's probably not the worst thing in the world. The thing that I was kind of worried about yesterday is the marinade that I made for the carrot dogs uses a lot of stuff. It's like a 1/4 cup of the soy sauce and a 1/4 cup of maple syrup and a 1/4 cup of vegetable stock and all these other things. And I was kind of concerned that it would be far too much sugar and salt and stuff, even just on a couple of carrots, and that my my weight loss would sort of stall as a result of it, or I wouldn't see much movement on the scale. And do you know what? That was completely unfounded. I mean, so long as I'm not eating it every single meal, every single day, I should be fine. I still was lower on numbers today by a decent enough margin than yesterday, so I kind of need to stop putting as much stock in the numbers and stop being as afraid of moving in the wrong direction. Of course, I know it's going to happen. It's one of these stupid things where it absolutely it in your brain and science and experience and evidence and everything, and it tells you this is how it's going to work. Don't worry, it's gonna happen. and then you still try and avoid it as much as possible. Which is, I don't know if that's like a form of madness or self-punishment or what, but you know. So I'm gonna try and take it a little bit easier than I have been even. So today, so we had lunch. Rowan went for a little sleep and he's back into his normal sleeping pattern now. It took a little bit of work the other day, but did it, hooray. And then after a little while, I thought, you know what? I quite fancy going out and eating something, and Sigurda usually comes past the East Side Gallery when she's on her way home. Let's do it. So I messaged her, I said, you know, do you wanna get together and eat at the East Side? And she said yes. So I strapped the GoPro onto the pushchair, and me and the boys set off and went up the street. And most of the way there, we actually walk alongside the Berlin Wall, the East Side Gallery, as it's called, and that is the section of the old Berlin Wall that's still standing and has been graffitied and painted over, and you know, there's some wonderful pieces on the wall. The one that I like the most, I think, is this one. I kind of stopped and focused on it for a little bit, and then took a couple of photographs of it. It's definitely a favorite, but I've not taken many photographs of the thing before. I think just because I live so close to it that I figured I could just go and see it whenever, and no one's really gonna knock it down anytime soon. It's a massive tourist attraction for Germany now. But it's the many small people in many small places doing many small things can change the world. And that works on a fair few different levels, but it's very, very true. There's an ancient Chinese proverb, I think, that says, when the small are many, they are stronger than the strongest, as well. And yeah, I'm quite a firm believer in that. I hate to come off like, you know, your stereotypical vegan and say, you know, every single person who does stop eating meat is contributing to the slowing the rate of climate change and this and the other. But do you know what? It's kind of true. And, you know, we're all trying to do what we can, right? We all want to be here for longer at the end of the day. We want the planet to be here longer at the end of the day. So, yeah. Something that I always like to think about every now and again. Something that definitely, you know, hits home. But anyway. So, after walking past that and contemplating for a few minutes, went up to East Side Mall and ended up hanging around outside and then wandering around inside Rewe for a little bit, because Sigurda actually got there later than I had expected, and when she did turn up, she'd actually just gone straight to the food court. So, you know, I was in the wrong, because I'd said, well, I was going to head to the food court, but actually I'm in Rewe, and she just got, well, food court. So, my fault, never mind. So, bought a couple of little bits and bobs and off we went. I went to Immergrün again and got their vegan kofta wraps again, because it is probably one of the only things in there that I can eat on this whole foods plant-based diet, and like, they're just tasty. They're tasty and they're filling, and yeah, I know they've probably got oil and salt and things in, but you know what? For once every now and again, it's pretty good. Pretty good. So that's what I had. Sigurda asked me to go up, so I had a wonderful little interaction actually. Sigurda asked me if I would go up to the fried chicken place and get her order and Rowan's order, because she's had a very, very long day of speaking to a lot of different people, and she just wanted to not have to muck around with getting German wrong and trying to decipher many options and that sort of thing. I said, you know what, yeah, sure, I'll go up. So went up and ended up having a weird and wonderful conversation in German with the gentleman who was running the place. I, you know, like doing this walk, and I was wearing my jumper. I've got a t-shirt on underneath, and I was also wearing a coat on top of that because it was, as you can see from the video, a very, very grey day, and it's been having little rain showers all throughout the day, but not as bad as the other day. So, you know, Rowan's in his raincoat, I've got all my stuff on, because my jacket's quite thin, jumper as well, sweater. And I was quite warm by the time that we got there, and the heating is on inside the food court as well. There's a lot of cooking stations, and you know, they want people to be warm and comfy and stay for a while, and etc. So I was, you know, I was sweating a little bit. You know, there's a little bit of perspiration, a little bit of a healthy glow, or an unhealthy glow, as the case may be. Anyway, so the guy says, "Oh, you're sweating a bit. How much do you weigh? Over 100 kilos?" This is a bit of a weird conversation, but okay. I'm over 119 kilos, we'll say. And he says, when you are over 100 kilos, you sweat a lot more often, and you sweat a lot more. In summer, in winter, going upstairs, all sorts of things, you sweat a lot more because you are lifting more. And I said, yes, I kind of understand that, yeah. He goes, okay, so, and you're ordering this? And I said, yes, it's for my wife and my son. He goes, oh, not for you? No. Oh, what are you gonna eat? Immergrün. Oh. Vegetarian? No, vegan. Oh. Because, you know, you just say vegan, it's much easier for people to understand. He says, oh, interesting. So yeah, I've lost quite a bit of weight over the past 5 weeks. He goes, oh really? How much? I said 13 kilos. And he dropped the fryer basket. Dropped the fryer basket and shouted, "Wie viel?" Which is how much? So yeah, that was an interesting little moment. That was pretty cool. I quite enjoyed that. Yeah, ate and eventually came home, put things away, and yeah, it's just been a nice, quiet, chill little night ever since. I had a Skype call with my mum back in the UK, found out that my sister has been losing weight since March. She's been doing the Slimming World thing, and it's working for her. She's doing pretty good. I have no idea how much it is that she's lost in kilos. It was explained to me in stones and pounds, and I can't remember the calculations to work it all out. It's like 14 pounds to a stone, right? I don't know, whatever it is, she's lost a fair bit. She's lost like 3 stone something or other, I want to say. Which, yeah, it's very impressive. Way to go, Amber. Yeah. But yeah, like, quite pleased. Me and her are doing very different routes, but getting pretty decent results. So, yeah, not bad. Not bad. My younger brother, who's a trained chef, took the mick out of me because probably about 2 months ago, I got this weird idea that I wanted to try making a gumbo, because I've always heard about gumbo, but I've never actually tried making it. And I figured now I'm doing, you know, like all these little experiments in cooking and that sort of thing. Like, I wonder if there's a gumbo recipe, and every single one of them that I found uses a roux as a base, which is, you know, you fry flour in oil, and that gives you your thick base, and the You know, sort of darker that it gets, the less of a binding agent that it is, and things stay a little bit more watery. But it's how every single gumbo begins. And I'd asked him, given that he is a trained chef, whether or not there was an alternative to a roux as, you know, a base for something like a gumbo or a thick sauce or anything like that. And his advice was, it's going to be such a small amount of oil by the time that you're finished. Get over yourself and use it. So, you know, like, he's probably right, but I don't know, still feels a bit wrong. I found a couple of alternatives, but when I eventually got around to attempting to make it, I just didn't. I made my my weird lentil stew thing instead. So, yeah, I don't know. It's probably something that I'll come back to. I'm gonna just concentrate on proper recipes for now and follow along with those, and then I'll start experimenting later. Ooh, one thing that did get posted up, Chuck from A Brand New Vegan posted a brand new recipe today for beer brats, which is sort of a meatless bratwurst, which you know, uses beer as one of its main components, as the liquid that binds it all together. And you just steam them, and then you slam them on a grill for a little bit, baste them with a little bit more beer, and yeah, that sounded really good. That's definitely up my street. I think I'm definitely going to have to save them for a special occasion because of the beer, but I'm up for that. That sounds pretty good. I've got the recipe saved and everything. So, I think Saturday I'm going to do a sort of indoor barbecuing as well. I might do a trial run tomorrow of the cauliflower wings from Brand New Vegan, because that sounds interesting. And, you know, I've got my hot sauce. I can take along a bunch of cauliflower wings and hot sauce to board games and, you know, let people try my wares. But I think Saturday is going to be the day where I just go whole hog, barbecue-y sort of thing. Got proper frankfurters and burger buns and hot dog buns. I found hot dog buns, but they come in packs of 4. Like, look at this. Look at this. This is pathetic. They come in packs of 4 over here. Terrible. Terrible. And hot, like, hamburgers, they come in packs of, like, you can get them in packs of 12 even. Like, what's going on there? Germany's famous for sausage, and yet you can't, like, get hamburger, like, you can't get hot dog buns and bratwurst buns and anyway. So I'm gonna think about doing that on Saturday. Get everyone hyped, get everyone pumped up. Seguda likes chicken wings. I'm fairly certain the boy will quite enjoy, you know, maybe like some deboned chicken wings and hot dogs and that sort of thing. Just as a little bit different, you know. I mean, it's probably still going to be dark and grey and rainy, but we're British, or I'm British. I'm British. That's perfect barbecue weather. Right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna edit this all together. Hopefully it'll be nice and quick, as opposed to yesterday's showing. I'm sorry about that. Like an hour-long video isn't actually what I want to do. Like, there's a lot more production work and production value that I could have put into an hour, but you know, things just sort of ran away from me. I think next time that I do anything that's going to be that sort of length, I'm going to have everything set up properly for a ridiculously good multi-camera setup. We're talking like multiple cameras in the kitchen already in place, all recording. It will be a fully structured, here's how this recipe works and how I'm making it and any changes that I've made to it sort of thing. Yeah, no, like think cooking guide. But yeah, like you know, my own sense of professionalism and filmmaking wants the level of, you know, it wants the level to be a lot higher than it was with yesterday's debacle. So anyway, right, definitely gonna go. I'm gonna sort out some peanut butter on toast, and yeah, we'll go from there. Thanks very much for joining me. Thanks very much for sticking with me for this amount of time, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, I guess. Have a good one.